What's that?
I don't know. Our first piece of fan mail?
Oh, I don't know what it is.
It's addressed to me. Should
It's
I open
addressed
it?
to you.
It says to Ian.
Yeah.
Okay. I know what you did last summer. What did I do last summer?
I don't know. What did you do last summer?
I don't even know. This is ominous news, everybody.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. It's not. It should be addressed to Julie James or something. It feels like.
Happy 4th of July, Julie.
Anyway, thanks for indulging us,
Yes,
And
as
we
we act
will-
like idiots.
and we will get to the bottom of this mystery later.
Sooner rather than later, hopefully.
So, welcome to a fun, exciting episode of the Sons of Haddonfield. I'm Ian, and this is Josh.
Yes, we are. How's it going?
And
You're really freaked out. The letter's getting to you.
this is psycho shit.
It is.
Psycho stuff.
It is.
Because who would know what I did last summer?
I do, but it wasn't me.
That is good.
I haven't told anybody, I promise.
What did we do last summer? We went on walks. Went to
We saw Rancid and Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was fun.
We went to the con.
Mm-hmm.
Went to, Crypticon.
Crypticon.
Yeah.
Had some great times there.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah. Kind of started to get back to normal.
Yeah.
Well, what are we doing?
We're going to do a franchise ranking and review of I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Go figure.
Huh. I'm amazed. That perfect timing.
Yeah.
That killer has amazing timing. Impeccable timing.
Thanks for the fan mail.
Yeah.
It wasn't signed. So whoever you are, you can leave a comment in the box below if you sent us this
It
mail.
was probably initials BW or something like that.
Yeah. WB.
WB. Willis Ben.
Will Benson.
Will Benson. Benson! No, we'll get there. No, we're going to be talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer. We're going to be talking about all three movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's I Know What You Did Last Summer. That is I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. And that is I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
Some people would wish that one was called I'll Always Forget This Movie Was Ever Made and Never Watch It Again.
That's a long title, but... Let's start with the first one. I Know What You Did Last Summer, a classic. Thoughts?
This is one of my favorites from the early 90s or late 90s, I guess. Jennifer Love Hewitt stars as Julie James. She really stands out in this one. It's fun cast, fun 90s cast.
Yep. Fun cast. Is that all? Is that all you got?
Sarah Michelle Gellar,
Yes, she is also in it.
Freddie Prinze Jr.,
Yes, he is also in it.
Ryan Phillippe,
He is also in it, playing a complete dick of a character.
and for fans of the 2000s sitcom The Big Bang Theory, Jonathan Galecki,
Yeah, Johnny Galecki.
who, aka Leonard from
Yeah.
The Big Bang Theory,
Yeah, that guy's in it.
makes an appearance. Yes.
Yes. That's what you're going to start with?
Yeah.
That's what you got there? Okay.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, no, it's a classic movie. It really, in my opinion, helped kick off the post-Scream slashers.
Mm-hmm.
So this was really the first big one that came out after Scream, and you can tell it is definitely heavily influenced by Scream, in my opinion. It has a nice mix of comedy, has a nice mix of horror in there for a good summertime slasher.
Yep. One that is a must-watch, in my opinion, every 4th.
Every 4th of July, I'm throwing on I Know What You Did Last Summer.
This and Jaws seem to be two really popular ones. Oh,
Yeah.
and Uncle Sam.
Well, Uncle Sam, obviously.
Yeah, toss Uncle Sam.
If you're not familiar with the story, which I don't know how you would not be by now, but if you're not, 4 friends are out driving late at night after a party, and they hit somebody with their car, and do the worst thing you could possibly do in that situation, and throw him off the cliff into the lake or the ocean. Yeah.
And then try to cover it up and
Yeah.
lie about it. Yep. some secrets.
Like, if we really think about it,
Mm-hmm.
do we actually care if anything bad happens to this group? Like, these are who does this? These are the
Yeah.
worst people ever.
The majority of the characters know. Julie, you kind of a little bit because she's like, guys, we should do something.
But she never does
But
anything.
even then, she doesn't do anything until a year later when the killer comes back.
So, like, yeah, we care about the characters because we're invested in them. But if we actually, like, honestly think about it, we shouldn't care about any of these characters.
Yeah, because they did a really
They're really,
unspeakable thing.
like, come on, Ben Willis, get these group of teenagers.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, if you ask me, if we're thinking of, I know you did last summer, like, recognition game, the first thing that comes to mind is one of my all-time favorite chase scenes in any movie. And that is Sarah Michelle Gellar's as Helen Shiver. Her chase scene when she's being chased by the fishermen is top-notch to me.
Yeah, I love the mannequin in the store that's covered, and then like it jumps out at you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good jump scare. It has good atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I think the movie itself, I think, has really good pacing in it. It's a classic. It could be, now if we're talking about some complaints I have, obviously we could talk about the good things for days,
Mm-hmm.
right? I do have a couple nitpicky kind of complaints about it. It isn't very gory.
That is true.
And you know me, I want to see more gore. I want to see more blood. We don't get any of that. We
Right.
get some, but not
a ton.
enough. You know. The other thing, you're talking about Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna break your heart a little bit. I love Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I love her in this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I feel almost like Sarah Michelle Gellar would have been a better final girl.
I mean, it's possible, but you got the brains in Jennifer Love Hewitt. That's kind of what they
Yeah.
were going for. Brains wins and helps you defeat the killer. Like, that's the thing I think they were going for.
That's the final girl motif there.
And also they both look good. So I mean,
They do both
it's,
look good.
It's not the beauty thing.
No.
But yeah, like I feel like also her character is like more relatable, or at least you try to be more sympathetic because she's like the one who stands up and is like, guys, we can't do this. And then even though she doesn't do anything, she at least tries a little bit.
That's
early
true.
on.
Yeah, you're true.
So she has more of a redemption. I think that's one of the reasons.
That's
why.
probably it. I feel like she just gets like lost in the background a little bit in the movie. It is such a great cast.
It is.
And, you know, they all they all went on to really good careers in the industry. I feel like she's overshadowed a bit. And so the movie itself doesn't have the strongest final girl because of that. Like, she's no Heather Langenkamp. Like, Heather Langenkamp stands out from the beginning as the strong one, the one that's gonna survive.
Yeah.
She's not really that. She doesn't have that strength about her in this movie.
But she was kind of meek in the beginning, and then like later she kind of finds it.
I think she finds it more in the second movie, and I still know what she did last summer than she ever does in the first one.
It's a path.
She
She's
more
getting
like
there.
stumbles her way to surviving in this one.
And sometimes that's all you need.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah.
That's really my only complaints I have with the movie. I love Jennifer Love Hewitt. If they just would have made her a little stronger, made her stand out a bit more, I think it could have been even better.
What are you waiting for?
And so yeah, that's my input on the first one.
I do have a few little complaints
Yeah.
too. Mine would be just how efficiently the killer gets rid of all the bodies. Because like she keeps seeing bodies places,
Uh-huh.
and then like they're not there, so you're like, oh, is she going crazy? But there's no way someone in broad daylight could fill up a trunk of a car with crabs and a body, and then like maybe half an hour get rid of, or less.
Less than, yeah.
More likely less than half an hour. Get rid of all the crabs and the body from the trunk.
I mean,
On
if
a-
you
on a
get
busy
crabs,
street.
you're gonna have them for a while.
Not the ones from the Pacific. Or Atlantic.
No, I agree with you on there. And he's not even like a supernatural
No.
being. He's a regular person. He's a human being killer.
He's just a tough dude who
Yeah.
didn't die.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do like the final fight on the boat.
Yeah, the final fight on the boat is good. It gives us my favorite line of the movie when he says "Happy 4th of July, Julie." My favorite line of the movie. I love it. I don't know why.
It's pretty quotable.
It is very quotable, especially every 4th of July when I go around the house calling everybody Julie. And my son was getting incredibly frustrated with me this 4th of July. So that was fun. Let's move on to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. What are we thinking about this one?
So it's not as strong as I Know What You Did Last Summer, in my opinion, but it's still pretty good. This is one I haven't seen as often, so like I still like every time I watch it, I'm like, what happens? Like, who's in this? Like, there's random cameos that pop up that I'm still shocked every time I see it.
And there are a lot of cameos in this one. There's a lot that pop up.
My favorite cameo is by Jeffrey Combs as the desk clerk of the island resort that
He's
they go
so
to.
mad all the time. He's so annoyed that he has people at his hotel.
And then Jack Black. Those are the two that really stand out to me.
Jack Black is awesome in before he became famous, Jack Black role in this one. Those are my favorite two. I also like Bill Cobbs a lot. That's kind of like the caretaker of the resort. I think he's a really good kind of like a character actor. He does a good job in this one. So I will say the first thing I'm going to talk about is the vibes that this one puts off. With I Know What You Did Last Summer, it is very watchable every 4th of July because there's so much 4th of July festivities going on. It's like a holiday horror film. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer takes place on the 4th of July, and they mentioned that throughout the movie, but those vibes are not there.
Yeah.
It's very much an isolated slasher type environment rather than a holiday type environment.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's also like different because like they win a contest to go to the island to stay there, which no one else is staying there because it's the off season.
Yeah.
Of the resort, and then the killer shows up and to hunt them at the island.
Yeah, and so you kind of lose those the 4th of July vibes that made it really fun in the first one. They're kind of gone in this one. I have a lot of fun with this one though. I love it. It's a really good entry into the franchise, in my opinion. You get Jennifer Love Hewitt back, you get Freddie Prinze Jr. back, and then you also get Brandy and Nicole Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
So they're both go on to big time things. So Brandy probably a little bit more than Nicole Pfeiffer. He was probably best known for 8 Mile, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So the addition of those two characters, as well as the cameos you talked about with Jeffrey Combs and Jack Black, it really makes this one pretty fun. I don't think it really does anything different, though. It doesn't really... It loses the holiday vibes, so it doesn't really stand out in that regard. It has more blood. I think it has more gore than the first one.
I agree with that.
Still not a ton, though. So it's not really going to be known as like a gory slasher. So it plays it, honestly, pretty safe, in my opinion. I would have liked to see it take a little bit more chances here and there, do some things a little bit differently, but it's a very well-made film.
And going back to Mikael Pfeiffer, Dawn of the Dead, the remake.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He really stands out.
Yeah,
to me.
I forgot
his
about
role in
that one.
movie. But anyway, going back to the overall plot, like the movie, it has like a twist ending that you don't see coming. Because the original fisherman is still back, but then there's also a second killer.
Is this Scream?
Whoa!
2 killers?
I'm sure they might have borrowed some ideas.
We're
Maybe.
still very much in the post-Scream
And
world there.
Speaking of Scream 2,
Yep, Scream 2 came out the same year, didn't it? And speaking of the 2 killer twist ending.
yeah. So Will Benson, we mentioned earlier. They sneak that in there, the killer's son, because the original fisherman is back, but then also his son.
His son
now
is back too.
which is kind of also has shades that showed up in Scream 2, which also starred Sarah Michelle Gellar from the original I Know What You Did Last Summer, there was 2 killers, the mom avenging her son.
Kind of, it's very much so connected, in my opinion. It's kind of funny if you look at it like that. That's about all I have for I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. It's really solid. Just
I have one thing to say.
yeah,
So you know how in the first movie she's about to take a shower, the killer comes out of the shower.
how
and
it,
says-
so how I Know What You Did Last Summer ended.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the ending for the first one. For the second one, she gets dragged under a bed because the killer shows up.
Correct.
And since Jennifer Love Hewitt was not in a third movie, do we think the killer didn't die and came back and got her? Or is it another dream sequence like the first ending? What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna say it's another dream, kind of like the first one, the ending of the first one. It's kind of how I look at it. It's
Yeah.
kind of how I looked at both of those. I feel like if they wanted to, they could have gone about I Still Know What You Did Last Summer and connected that ending to this movie. Like have it pick up in the same place. Because she's happy in school now, in college, but it doesn't, like, she's not happy. She's not the same character, basically, like how if that movie ended. Because that movie ended in a really good spot for her, and the second movie started in a pretty bad spot for her, just emotionally, you
Yeah.
know? And so with both of those endings, I kind of feel like, okay, we're just having dreams. She has a lot of the dreams, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, kind of messing with her. So that's how I look at it.
That's how I think about it too. But when I was watching it yesterday, I was like, wait a minute. Could that be something that happened? And I want to know your thoughts.
Let us know in the comments below if you think happened, didn't happen. Dream, no dream. Let's go on to I'll always know what you did last summer, shall we? We have to. We have to talk about it.
We do, unfortunately, for some. For
Can,
most.
can I start?
You can
Can I
start.
start? I don't hate this movie. I honestly enjoy this movie. Okay? I like it. I love early 2000s slashers, though. This is not an I Know What You Did Last Summer movie.
It is not.
So if you change the name from I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer to The Fisherman or to The Hook Hand or something stupid, some cringy early 2000s name for a slasher movie you can think of, this movie, a lot of fun. Okay? But that's not true. It has the name I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. So therefore we're going to put it next to the first two movies and treat it as a sequel.
A trilogy.
A trilogy. It's more of a soft reboot, honestly,
Yeah.
than a sequel.
Because it did come out 9 years after the
Yeah,
fact.
2006 now. We were left without any movies for 8 years. And then this one comes out. So as a slasher movie from the early 2000s, I like it. It's fun. As an I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, it sucks. Those are my opening thoughts on this movie. What do you think?
My opening thoughts, the music was pretty kick-ass throughout the movie.
It has that early 2000s music, like the heavy metal kind of a music and the really fast editing and the cutscenes with the music playing. And like when the music comes on, it just overtakes everything. Like
The Tori DeVito, she plays a bass player. Like she's not the lead, but she's one of the side characters. Like I really liked her character.
Yeah.
Like she was badass throughout the movie. I like that. Like the opening premise is kind of funny. They're recreating the urban legends from the first two movies, and then like one of the guys accidentally falls off a building and dies. And so they're like, oh crap, and so they run away, and then they're hunted by the police over the secret or the hook-handed killer while worrying about the police.
the acting, not great.
No.
The storyline, not great. The pacing, not the best. But if you're a fan of early 2000s slashers, how it's cut and how it's edited, you'll probably enjoy at least a little bit of this movie.
Some of the scenes at the ski lodge with the ski lift, I thought those were pretty neat. Definitely had potential there.
Yeah. Well, a thing that I really like about it is the fisherman in this movie is played by Don Shanks, who is Michael Myers in Halloween 5.
Good fun fact there.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I like that. Now here's where I want more from the franchise. And obviously, I wanted more of I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
Mm-hmm.
They make us wait 8 years and then give us this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a
That-
direct-to-video sequel from 2 really big movies that
Mm-hmm.
came out in the late 90s. Untapped potential in this franchise. Why is this franchise not a slasher staple nowadays? They could be 7 movies in. This could be a Friday the 13th. It could be a Halloween movie. But they never... What happened in those 8 years from I Still Know to I'll Always Know?
I don't want to speculate, but I'm going to speculate.
Do it.
Jennifer Love Hewitt probably didn't want to keep doing slashers, I'm guessing. And then they couldn't really find a good story to connect them, would be my guess. Or if one did really well, so they made a second one and the number 2 underperformed, that could have made them be like, okay, we don't want to mess with this one.
It could. It could.
Those are my 2.
I don't know.
thoughts.
We'd have to look up the numbers and stuff for all that because we don't know. But yeah, those are very good reasons. I don't know. I feel like the Fisherman could be a regular household name in the slasher movies community, and instead we have 2 pretty good movies and 1 horrible movie.
Because he's a zombie.
And that, I mean, let's make another one.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's get on here. I want more of these movies.
We would just need another reboot.
Yeah, do a reboot of it. And when you're doing a soft reboot, like I Always Know What You Did Last Summer, you need names attached to it.
At least one.
So, but these actors are not, at the time anyway, and still today,
I'd say most of them are not household names.
they're not household names. I've seen a couple of them pop up here and there in different movies, but they're not household names by any means. And if you're going to do a soft reboot of a franchise, you need something to pull us in. So I don't know what train wreck I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer was going through in pre-production maybe, or if it was changed, what their original idea was. It just works better as a regular slasher and not attached to the franchise. But I really want to see more of The Fisherman. Even if you don't continue Jennifer Love Hewitt's story, even if you don't continue that arc, find a way to connect it. Bring it back somehow. We don't have a ton of summer movies like this, like holiday summer movies. Around the 4th of July, we have Uncle Sam and Jaws.
Yep,
Those are the
then-
2 big ones.
And then these.
And that's it, basically. Like, I think it would do really well in today's market.
I mean, yes, I'd agree. Like, if you did another movie and you hyped it and you put effort into it, it could succeed. I know I haven't seen it, but I know that I Always Know What You Did Last Summer TV show on Amazon Prime.
Don't get me started.
I know.
I have to talk about it.
It's like a teen drama kind of vibe, is what I've heard. I haven't seen it, but so you got to do a little bit more to kind of then.
Yeah, I Know What You Did Last Summer TV series on Amazon Prime, I was actually excited for, and it was the worst piece of crap I have ever seen in my life. Like, that's not how you bring The Fisherman back. I gave up on it after 2 episodes. I couldn't even make it. It was made for about 13 to 14-year-old girls was the target audience in that show. It was so bad. Like, if that's what, and now they're probably thinking, oh, well, you know, they had that one TV series and they tried to give it a go and it didn't do well. And so I guess nobody's interested in bringing The Fisherman back. No, please bring them back in the capacity of the first 2 movies and we will be happy. Not the horrible nonsense that was that Amazon Prime series.
Because I would say, like, this is an urban legend that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard of, about the hook in the door. It's been mentioned in countless TV shows randomly across the years. Urban legend, that's prominent in Urban Legend, the movie from the late 90s, which came out after these 2, or the early 2 movies. Like, it's a staple, like, it's a legend. Everyone has heard the story about the person driving by the insane asylum or whatever, and they get home and there's a hook attached in the door.
Exactly.
From the maniac killer.
I'm pretty sure I know your ranking of these 3 movies.
Yep, I'm pretty sure you would.
What are they?
And I'm pretty sure yours is the same as mine.
I'm pretty sure it is.
So where are we starting? Top to bottom, bottom
Let's
to
start
top.
number 3.
Number 3, I Always Know What You Did Last Summer. Number 2 is I still know what you did last summer. And number 1 is I know what you did last summer.
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward. It doesn't always work out like that, but they make it easy for us on this franchise. That is our franchise review ranking of the 4th of July favorites. I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise. Do you disagree?
Or do you agree?
Maybe they love I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
I mean, based on what I saw in Letterboxd.
Hey, it could happen.
It could.
If you're out there, if you're the one person that loves the movie, let us know in the comments below. Maybe you like 2 better than 1. I understand it. I wouldn't be that surprised. I like 2 a lot. But still, number 1 takes the top spot for me. Let us know in the comments down below. As always, you can follow us on Instagram at Horror Sensei.
And I Bet Joe.
On Letterboxd at Husker Sensei.
And I Bet Joe.
And Twitter at Haddonfield Sons. You know what else they can do?
What can they do?
They can like and share and subscribe to this channel right here.
In the words of Julie James, what are you waiting for? Hit that bell. And
Do
so
it
you're
now.
notified every time we release a video.
Yeah, it's easy. 1 button. That's all you have to do. Hey, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching the video. Have a happy 4th of July. And remember, everyone loves a goddamn lobster roll.
Except vegetarians and people that prefer to eat crabs off of boats in Florida, Georgia, wherever they are.
They take place in North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina.
You're so far off.
What did I say?
Florida.
Oh, yeah, I did.
How dare? Did you even watch these movies?